Assalamu alaikum ladies and gentlemen, once again welcome back to my YouTube channel and also in class. So today I have decided to cover listening module. So this class is based on the course outline of our week 1 and also week 2. So basically those students who have missed out our live class of that was held the previous weekend on Saturday about the listening module. So this class is for you people, and I'm going to cover all the basics of the listening module plus some tips and tricks, and a practical demonstration will be held at the end. So this is going to be start. So starting from the very basic, we need to understand the module of the test. The listening test is held in 4 sections, and each section carry equal marks. Like each section has 10 questions, and each section a total of 40 questions comprises of 40 marks, and these questions are objective based. So one wrong answer means 0 mark and one right answer means 1 mark. So the band score of the listening test is calculated according to the marks that according to the number of answers that are answered correctly and the marks of that answers. So a total of 30 minutes, 40 questions, 4 sections, 10 questions each section comprises of the listening module of the IELTS test. Before going to start the tips and tricks, I would like to have I would like to give you an insight of the marking criteria for the listening test, that there is no extensive and expensive criteria for the marking of listening module. It's as simple as that of the reading, that it is objective based and the number of correct answers calculates the band scores. For example, if you got 35 or 36 correct answers, you will be able to get 8 bands in the listening module. This is what basically comes in the listening test. Like as I already told you that we have 4 sections. So from these 4 sections, the first section is generally a conversation or an interview between 2 speakers, and most of the time it's a telephonic conversation, means 2 people are talking to each other on telephone. One person is asking the questions and the other is giving the information. So out of that conversation we have to pick up the information, and most of the time it is very important to take into consideration the question types that are being asked in each of the module, and these are specified according to the section of the module. So for example, in section 1 we have this task type of note completion, form completion and table completion. These 3 types of the questions are usually asked in section 1. And when it comes to section 2 of the listening test, in section 2 the number of questions is same, like 10 questions, and there is a monologue, means that a single speaker is speaking and giving information. For example, it can be a podcast, it can be an interview, it can be a recording of interview, like one person is sharing his experience, and or a talk show, etc. And in this section 2, most of the time table completion comes, but usually very often like there are sentence completion, MCQs and flowchart. And then comes the part 3. So part 3, there is a group conversation, like 2-3 friends are talking to each other about their educational project or some training context, etc, etc. So in section 3 there is a conversation between 3-4 speakers, and the question types are diagram labeling and map labeling. Remember one thing, like this is not hard and fast rule that इस सेक्शन में यही क्वेश्चन आएगा. It can vary from section to section, it can vary from paper to paper, but these are like usual things that happens, and we need to understand these type of question types. So in section 4 there is again a monologue, but it is like a kind of difficult one. So it is most of the time it's a speech or a presentation about any academic topic, and the question type in this are matching the information, or most of the time summary completion or MCQs sometime. So the purpose of telling you this is you must be familiar with the format of the test, the templates of the sections, and you must be familiar with the with the actual test, that what happens actually and what we are going to face in the test. and the question types are very compulsory, very necessary to understand, that you must have idea that okay, in this section I'm going to face this type of question, in this section I'm going to encounter this type of question. So because each question type has its own technique, there is one basic technique of the listening test and there are several techniques for each type of question. So you must be familiar and you must understood these question types. So this is the whole format, this is the whole layout of the listening module of the IELTS. I hope you got complete understanding that what actually happens in the test. Okay, these are like question types, multiple types of the question that you have to understand and you have to practice while preparing for your listening module of the test, that are MCQ, note completion, matching, pick from the list, sentence completion, flowchart, diagram, summary, etc etc. ये सारे questions होंगे. And most confusing, or most you can say the last step of listening is the maps. So there are maps of a building, map of a park, map of a city or a town, and you have to label that map. A recording will be played and they will tell you that okay, left side पे ये है, right side पे ये है, and you have to label that mark. These are considered as some somehow difficult thing and MCQs. Other than that, listening is not a big deal. You can like achieve good bands in listening very easily. Okay. So that's it about the layout or format of the test. Now I would be telling you some tips or you can say some tricks or techniques while solving the test. Like you have to be familiar, you have to be very clear about these techniques, and you have to keep in mind these techniques, and you have to apply these steps when you are doing your listening test in order to get good band score in listening. So number one is the visualization of the content. Means whatever the content is, whatever the topic of the recording is, you must have a visual imaging of that specific topic in your mind. For example, if they are talking about some university, so you must be imagining that you are standing at the university, and there must be a video demonstration playing in your mind. Like the audio आप सुन रहे होंगे, but you must have visualization of that content inside your mind. The purpose of doing this, that you must not get bored while listening to the audio. Okay, second is the plug in the situation. Plug in the situation means that you must be familiar with the subjects of the recording. For example, two persons are speaking. Who are they? For example, a receptionist and a customer is talking. So you must be very clear that okay, फीमेल की जो वॉइस है दैट इज़ ऑफ रिसेप्शनिस्ट एंड मेल की जो वॉइस है दैट इज़ ऑफ अ कस्टमर. ओके, कस्टमर इज़ आस्किंग द क्वेश्चंस एंड रिसेप्शनिस्ट इज़ गिविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके, माय क्वेश्चन इज़ दिस. सो ये जो क्वेश्चन है इसका आंसर मुझे पता चलेगा फ्रॉम द रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ रिसेप्शनिस्ट. सो इन दिस वे यू मस्ट बी वेरी फेमिलियर विद द सब्जेक्ट्स, दैट क्या बात हो रही है, कौन बात कर रहे हैं एंड किस बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. So you must be very clear about the situation of the listening test. And the follow-up step of the first two steps, visualization and plug-in, is that do not lose attention and focus. Attention and focus is the main key to success in your IELTS listening test. So be very attentive and be very clear about the test. Like no other thought, no other unnecessary thinking should be going on in your mind during the test. So your mind must be very free and very clear and very fresh during the test. Okay, number 4, utilize question times effectively. It is very important thing that utilization of time is very important. But in the start of each section they will give you some time, like they will say that you have some time to read the questions 1 to 5 or 5 to 10 or 20 to 25, whatever the question number is. They will say that you have some time to read the question. Whenever they give you time to read that question, you have to utilize that time very effectively. And the key for utilizing that time effectively is estimation of the answers, meaning that when you read a question you must make a rough estimate in your mind that okay, this can be the answer of the question. For example, the question statement is let's suppose deadline. So इससे आप क्या एस्टिमेट कर सकते हैं कि डेडलाइन का आंसर विल बी ऑब्वियसली अ डेट. ओके, एंड फॉर एग्जांपल क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट इज डेडलाइन का तो डेट हो गया. इज कॉस्ट, फॉर कॉस्ट it is our estimate, it is a common sense that the answer can be a number, for example 500, 1000. okay, and प्लेस के बारे में होगा तो ऑब्वियसली कोई नाम होगा, एड्रेस होगा तो कोई नाम होगा, पर्सन. तो इस तरह आपने जब क्वेश्चन को रीड करना है तो यू मस्ट बी मेकिंग एस्टिमेट्स कि ओके इसका आंसर ये हो सकता है, इसका आंसर ये हो सकता है. द पर्पस ऑफ डूइंग दिस इज़ टू गेट योर सेल्फ फेमिलियराइज विद द क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि रिकॉर्डिंग जब प्ले हो रही होगी तो उसमें वही एस्टिमेटेड आंसर्स आपके वो बोलेंगे एंड यू मस्ट कैच और यू मस्ट पिक द आंसर्स. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज read the instructions very carefully. The instruction are like sometime इसकी वजह से आपके मार्क्स कट जाते हैं, इंस्ट्रक्शंस ना फॉलो करने की वजह से. इन लिसनिंग टेस्ट द इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर लाइक दिस काइंड: write one word only, write 2 word only, write no more than 3 words. So as it is objective based, so you have to write like as it is the instructions. जैसे instructions given है बिल्कुल वैसे ही आपने इसके आंसर्स लिखने हैं. For example, if there is written no more than 3 words, so you are not allowed to write even a single word more than 3. okay, means कि no more than 3 का word मतलब है कि 3 से कम ही होने चाहिए. you can write 1 word, you can write 2 word और you can write 3 word. और इसका ये मतलब ही नहीं कि exactly आपने 3 ही लिखने हैं, कहीं ना कहीं से आप फिट कर रहे हैं 3. no, nothing like that. you have to write less than 3 words. okay, and another thing is 1 word and और a number, mean के 1 word हो सकता है या फिर एक नंबर हो सकता है या फिर दोनों हो सकते हैं. ओके, मीन एंड और अ नंबर. सो यू मस्ट टेक इनटू कंसिडरेशन दीज इंस्ट्रक्शंस. ओके, सो इसके अगर आपका आंसर करेक्ट भी है बट इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं फॉलो की हुई, मीन्स के नो मोर देन 2 वर्ड है और करेक्ट आंसर में आपने 3 वर्ड लिख दिया या फिर उसका एक नंबर लिख दिया है, तो उसके लिए आपके आंसर विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज रॉन्ग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द इंस्ट्रक्शन इज 1 word and or a number and the answer is 12th of September. So you are not allowed to write 2 words like TWLE 12 and then September SEPE. You must have to write 1 to 12, that is a number, उसके बाद एक word. तो a word and a number answer will be correct, like 12 1 to SEPTEMBR September, 12 September डेट आपकी हो जाएगी. ठीक है, इस तरह. So you must take into consideration these instructions. Okay, next is word indicators or simply keywords, meaning that there will be some, when you read the question statement you have to pick out some important words or keywords in that situation. और सर मैंने खुद ही बंद किया हुआ, शोर आता है उसका. हाँ जी. ओके, सो okay, next is word indicators or the keywords. For example, when you have some you read the question statement, there will be some keywords or main points, main headings of that specific question, like उसमें से आपने headings pick कर लेनी है. okay, so the keywords आपके पास जब आ जाएंगे तो इंस्टेड ऑफ रीडिंग लाइक वेस्टिंग योर टाइम ऑन रीडिंग द होल स्टेटमेंट, you just pick up the word indicators and then match those word indicators with the recording that will be played in the audio. okay, so पूरी स्टेटमेंट रीड करने की या पूरे MCQs में जो पूरे ऑप्शंस हैं पूरी स्टेटमेंट रीड करने की जरूरत नहीं है. जस्ट पिक अप द मेन वर्ड, मेन आइडिया, कीवर्ड्स को करें. एंड इन दिस द नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स और ट्रैप्स. देयर आर ऑलवेज ट्रैप्स इन द लिसनिंग टेस्ट. लिसनिंग टेस्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा वो डिस्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे आपको. लाइक दे विल गिव यू इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑन सेवरल टॉपिक्स, दे विल गिव यू extra insignificant information and they will like try to confuse you. But the actual test is you must be capable of differentiate between wrong and right information, number one thing, and you must be capable of differentiation देंगे और एक information एक सब्जेक्ट पे वो आपको मल्टीपल इन्फॉर्मेशंस देंगे. सो यू मस्ट बी केपेबल ऑफ डिफ्रेंशिएटिंग बिटवीन दीज अननेसेसरी इन्फॉर्मेशंस. लाइक आपको डिफ्रेंशिएट करना आना चाहिए कि आपको जो रिक्वायर्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन है व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज दैट एंड उस रिक्वायर्ड इंफॉर्मेशन पे भी आपको 2-3 नैरेटिव वो शो करेगा, बट यू हैव टू पिक द करेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन आउट ऑफ दीज 3-4 इंफॉर्मेशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दे विड से दैट द प्रीवियस डेट वाज 19 बट नाउ वी हैव चेंज्ड इट टू 20 सितंबर. सो इस तरह आपने 20 सितंबर इज करेक्ट, उसने 19 भी बताई है 20 भी बताई है. या फिर वो ये कह सकते हैं कि we have classes both in morning and evening but I'm afraid that you won't be able to join in the morning. और तो इसलिए you should be मतलब मॉर्निंग को उसने निगेट कर दिया, तो the other option is evening. So in this way पूरी बात का कॉन्टेक्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड करके जो डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स और ट्रैप्स हैं उसमें से उससे आपने बचना है और उसको आपने अवॉइड करना है. दैट इज़ द थिंग. बट इन दिस केस ट्रैप्स से बचते बचते the next heading is do not wait too long to hear the answer. means that कि आप समझें कि ओके ये भी ट्रैप है, ये भी ट्रैप है, ये भी ट्रैप है, इसको आप माइंड से निकालते जाएं एंड एट द एंड नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की वो बात करना शुरू करते हैं. एंड वन थिंग मोर दैट इन लिसनिंग the questions and the recording are always in sequence, meaning that he will always talk about question number 1 in the first and then 2 then 3. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि he will talk about question number 3 पहले then वो बात करे question number 2 की then 1 की. He will like recording will be played in a sequence with the questions. So don't wait too long to hear the answers. अगर आपका एक आंसर नहीं मिल रहा, आपको रिकॉर्डिंग इज लग रहा है कि he is talking about question number 2, so skip the question number 1, move to question number 2. ओके, question number 1 का वेट नहीं करते रहना आपने कि लाइक ये होगा, इसका आंसर बाद में शायद आ जाए, ऐसा नहीं होगा. ओके, लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट इज the use of transcripts. Transcripts means that at the end of the books that I have told you, book number 1 to 17 Cambridge IELTS series, at the end of each book the transcripts, like the written description, like the as it is wording of the audios is written at the end of each book section wise. Okay, so what you have to so what you have to do is you have to open that transcript in front of you and YouTube पे लिखें like IELTS Cambridge IELTS book 6 recording of listening test 1. So you will get the recording audio of the that test. Just play that audio and start reading that transcripts. The purpose of doing that is you must be like आपको idea हो जाएगा the accent of that speaker, like the way that she speaks different words, she presents different words. Okay, because there are number of accents and number of styles of pronunciation a single word. So when you read the transcripts and then listen simultaneously, then in this way you must be able to get the idea कि इस वर्ड को किस तरह बोला उसने, इस वर्ड का ओके इस वर्ड्स के ये मल्टीपल एक्सेंट्स हैं, सो मल्टीपल प्रोनाउंसिएशंस हैं. सो इन दिस वे यू मस्ट बी एबल टू लर्न द वे ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग what someone is saying. So these were some techniques and tips that you have to follow while preparing and while attempting your listening module of IELTS. Okay, so I hope all of these must be very clear to you, and if you guys have any question, any query related to the format of IELTS number 1 or the techniques for the preparation and attempting of IELTS test, please do ask in the comment box. Okay, so now we will be having a practical orientation, like I will be opening up a test here and I will share like how we can solve that test or how we can implement these techniques that I have told you while attempting our test. Okay.